Hi, I'm going to make an analysis on one of Donald Trump's speeches, and this one is on illegal immigration. It was held in Phoenix, the 31st of August 2016, and the main topic is American politics. The first thing I'm going to talk about is who is this Donald Trump? He's elected candidate for the Republicans, and he is a quite unusual candidate. In his younger days, he studied on Fordham University in the Bronx, and then he transferred to Wharton School of Finance and Commerce in Pennsylvania. He has been everything from a TV host on a popular reality program to head of the Trump organization, and now he's running for president. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is who is his audience and who is his voters. It's mainly the working class people who vote on Trump. That's the biggest group. Of course, there are others, but the biggest group. And that's very clear in the way he speaks. And he uses this very friendly address, which creates a very clear connection between him and the audience. He, for example, uses like friend and guys and folks a lot of time in his speech. In this quote, in the first quote, it's also very clear that he focused very much on the working class people because he had to hold on to his voters. For instance, we have to listen to the concerns that working class people, or forgotten working people, have over the record pace of immigration and its impact on their jobs, wages, housing, schools, tax bills, and general living conditions. These are valid concerns expressed by decent and patriotic citizens from all backgrounds all over. And as Masfulid also says, is that Donald sees the working class people in a way that many politicians have forgotten. The Rust Belt never quite got over the Great Depression, and Donald acknowledged their problems in their lives, and he is really trying to help them as they see it, the first one in many years. So that's very smart of him, creating this connection between him and the audience. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the purpose of the speech. Every speech used in an election has the purpose of gaining more voters, and this has as well. He has to convince the audience that he really can make America great again. And therefore, the speech is also very directive. He tries to persuade people, and that's very clear in the next quote. To fix our immigration system, we must change our leadership in Washington, and we must change it quickly. He, between the lines, says that if we do not do something now, then something very bad will happen, and I'm the only man who can fix this. And that's very smart of him because he, in this persuasion, people think, wow, okay, there's really something wrong, and he can change this. Yes. So the next thing about this speech is the tone, the message, and modes of appeal. The message is clearly that illegal immigration should be stopped, otherwise America will not be as the America we know. And to back this message up, he uses different kinds of modes of appeal. He uses logos. For example, he says that illegal immigrants cost America over $311 billion a year, and everyone will think, wow, that's a lot of money. And when he uses a direct number, it's very logical because people do not argue with numbers. He also uses a lot of pathos in this speech. he talks very much about the families that he's met, the ones that lost their loved ones and their jobs and all that. And that, of course, have an effect on the audience because it's feelings. And he also uses a lot of ethos because he's a very talented speaker, but also because he talks Hillary down. He points out that she do not care much about the American, but instead cares about the immigrant, and no one would like to be overseen, so that's also a very smart trick of him. And the tone he uses is also very good because he matches the purpose and the audience and the message with the tone. He's talking formal but also very simple, so everyone can understand it, but he still have to keep up a certain image of himself because he's candidate. And that's also how he normally speaks. He speaks clearly and loud, but he's not too rude. He's not using slang all the times and stuff like that. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is why this speech works so well. It does that because of fear, I think. People in our time is very afraid of violence and terrorism. And Donald simplifies the solution to terrorism, or simplifies terrorism. He says that if we stop illegal immigrants, there will not be as much violence and terrorism. So he actually comes up with a very simple solution to the fear that people build up. And no one would say no to a solution to these terrible, terrible things. So that's again very smart of him to play on the fear of people. And that's also why this particular issue has won so many voters for him. So the speech, all in all, in conclusion, the speech has many individual parts that are quite good. He's using the most of appeals, very, very good. He uses numbers, but not too many. He's using pathos, maybe a little over the top with the pathos. And again, he's using this ethos by talking down to Hillary and so on, so on. But he also kind of contradicts himself. He, in the beginning, talks about that he's very good friends with the president of Mexico, but later on he keeps on saying they have to build the wall and they have to pay for the violence and stuff like that. So he kind of contradicts himself, and that's where the speech is not so good. He kind of get overexcited, so the message is not completely clear. So all in all, the individual parts works for him and he has clearly thought about it, but the message is not quite good.